Today we're doing Surah 79. We started last week. We did the first 23 verses. It's a longer surah. And now we're going to do, hopefully, we're going to start at 24 and hopefully finish it.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay. So, okay, we're going to start from here. And let's start with Khadija.
Yes, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Faqala anna rabbakumul ala. I am the supreme Lord of you all. فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة الأولى. Thereupon Allah seized him from the chastisement of the world to come, as well as of the present. Inna fi zalika la ibratin liman yakhsha. Surely there is a great lesson in it for whoever would fear Allah. Who fears uh, who who fears the consequences of denying God's messenger, which the Pharaoh experienced in the past. أأنتم أشد أشد خلقا أم السماء أم السماء بناها. Is it harder to create you or the heaven? But Allah built it. Now arguments uh, now arguments are being now arguments are being given for the possibility of resurrection and life after death, and after being the very demand and requirement of wisdom. Here, creation implies the recreation of men and the heaven, the entire no, firmament, which contains countless stars and planets, and innumerable solar system and galaxies, means to say, you think that your resurrection after death is something extremely improbable, and you express wonder, saying, how is it possible that when our very bones will have decayed and become rotten, the scattered particles of our bodies will be assembled and made living once again. But uh, have you ever also considered whether the great universe is harder to create, or your own recreation is the form in which you were created in the first instance?
Khadija, you're reading too fast. So, anyway, so I've told you before you slow down. So, okay, so you read this as from. The first one, it's for. So that's just a squiggly. The next one I'm going to underline, actually. How do we say that?
So it's Pharaoh.
Pharaoh.
Yeah, Pharaoh. It's spelled in a really weird way, isn't it?
Yes, it's spelled very weird, and it's or Pharaoh, and it's spelled Pharaoh, and what you see is Pharaoh.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week of how, on one hand, Pharaoh or Pharaoh is a character in the Quran, but also a lot of English-speaking people use the word Pharaoh in a general way just to talk about Egyptian kings. So it's two things, I guess.
Yeah. In Quran, it's one king.
Yeah.
And a lot of other times it's like a sequence of things. Okay, next one is.
So the next one is recreation.
Creation is like, is
I'm
it
sorry.
recreation or?
Oh, what?
Oh, is this recreation or recreation?
Oh, so here creation implies the recreation of. Oh, right. Yeah, that. Okay, I got tricked by that. That shows how tricky English is. That sometimes even English speakers get tricked. But yes, Bilal is right. It's recreation.
So Jessica, repeat it.
Recreation.
Recreation.
Yeah, so there's two words, recreation and recreation, and I believe they're both spelled the same. But I guess you have to get it from context.
Yeah, so the break can be after re or after C. So recreation means when you're repeating the creation. Recreation is enjoyment.
Yeah.
It has two meanings. So when a word has same spelling but different meaning, what kind of word is that?
The same sound but different meanings. I want to say a homonym, but I don't think that's correct because homonym is same sound but different meanings, but maybe it's a homonym.
How about you guys? Anybody know what that is called? It's called what? A homo what? Tanya.
Sir, homophones.
Homophone. Shazia.
Sir, can you repeat your question?
What's the word that has same spelling but different meaning is called what?
Sir, homonym.
Homonym. Okay. So Matt.
Sir, it's called homonym.
Okay. So it's gotta be one of the three. It's so you got homonyms.
So I looked it up. Homonym is pronounced the same. Oh, sorry.
Sir, homograph.
So hold on. Let me test my knowledge as well.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm glad you looked it up, but I'm gonna just try to remember.
Okay.
So homonyms, and then homonyms are broken into homographs and homophones. Graphs are the same spelling, different meaning. Phones are same sound, different spellings. Okay, now I'm gonna stop. So Jessica, what did you read up?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. A homonym, a word that's pronounced the same as another, but it has a different meaning, whether it's spelled the same way or not. And a homophone, a word pronounced the same as another, but different in meaning, whether spelled the same or not. So I think homophone and homonyms are like the same thing.
And how about homograph?
Homograph. A word written this a word of the same written form as another, but different meaning and usually origin.
Okay. Okay. All right, yeah. So this could mean this word could be spelled recreation or recreation.
Yeah.
Recreation, when you repeat the process of creation. Recreation, enjoyment activities. So next one, I have a question mark. I don't know what that means. The entire firmament. I think it means the entire structure.
The firmament, I looked it up because it's one of those words people don't use a lot. It meant the sky or the heavens. I guess it's a fancy way of referring to the sky or the heavens above you. That God made the entire firmament, and sometimes I think in the Bible or in the Quran it talks about the heavens or the sky that way.
Okay, so it's a top shelf of a word or the top of the world. Okay, next.
Okay, the next word is reassembled.
Reassemble.
Yeah, and that means to put together again.
Yeah, so this is where reassemble.
Right.
When you assemble something again, you For
Yeah.
example, in Pakistan, in schools, usually you have an assembly in the morning where students get together.
Mm-hmm.
So when you assemble, then you put things together. So
Right.
reassemble when you put things together again.
And I guess
And
that's something for you guys to just look out for. Sometimes when you have re or re at the beginning of a word, it means to do it again.
recreate, reassemble, restart,
Yeah.
replay, all those words.
Rerun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And the last one was just because Khadija, when she speeds up, she starts making a lot of mistakes. So I have to tell her to slow down. So I think she missed that preposition of in.
Yeah. In.
Okay. Umar,
Yes, sir.
continue.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rafa'a samkaha fasawwa.
Oh, no. There's a
Oh,
little bit of paragraph missing. I put an arrow there.
the God who created you in the first instance cannot be powerless to create you once again. This same argument for life after death has been given at several places in the Quran. For example, in Surah Yasin, it has been said, "Is not he who created the heavens and the earth able to create the like of them again? Why not? When he is the skillful creator." And in the Surah Al-Mu'min, it has been said, "Surely the creation of the heavens and the earth is a greater task than the creation of man." But most people do not know.
Keep going.
Rafa'a samkaha fasawwaha, and raised its violet, raised its vault, its vault high and proportioned it. Wa aktasha laylaha wa akhraja zuhaha, and and covered its night with darkness and brought forth from it its day.
Okay. Very good. So three things.
Okay.
First one is
The first one I see is able.
Able.
Yeah, able. Means it is capable or possible.
possible. So similar word would be cable. So you said able. So able, just like cable.
Oh yeah, like cable TV.
Okay. The next one is
Raised.
Raised.
Yeah, raised. So raised means to lift up. You and sometimes in English, people might say, if you're having a really good party, you raise the roof. But that's a metaphor. Okay. The next word is vault.
Vault.
Yeah, let's try it
Vault.
one time. Vault.
Vaults.
Yeah, I think that's good. There's many different meanings of the word vault, but one of them is kind of like an arch at the top. like an arch structure at the top, and I think here it could be using that as a metaphor for the sky, because sometimes people also say like the vaulting heavens, because just to say that it's so far up.
Okay. Very good. One second. I just want to see. Next. Sumer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The night and the day have been attributed to the heaven. For the night falls when the sun of the heavens sets, and the day dawns when it rises. The word cover has been used for the night in the sense that after the sun has set, the darkness of the night so spreads over the earth as though it has covered it from above by a curtain. وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا, and thereafter spread out the earth. After that, he spread out the earth does not mean that Allah created the earth after the creation of the heavens, but it is a style of expression just like our saying after making mention of something. Then this is noteworthy. The object is not to express the sequence of occurrence between the two things, but to draw attention from the first to the second thing, although both may exist together. Several instances of this style are found in the Quran, such that in Surah Al-Kalam, that is in Surah Al-Kalam, it is said, He is oppressive, and after that, ignoble by birth. This does not mean that first he became oppressive and then he turned ignoble by birth, but it means he is oppressive and above all ignoble by birth. Likewise, in Surah Al-Balad, it is said, should free a slave, then be of those who believe. This also does not mean that first he should act righteously and then believe, but that along with doing righteous deeds, he should also be characterized by belief. Here, one should also understand that at some places in the Quran, the creation of the earth has been mentioned first, and then the creation of the heavens, as in, and at other the creation of the heavens has been mentioned first and then of the earth, as in these verses. There is, in fact, no contradiction in this. At no place the object is to tell what was created first and what afterwards. But mm, wherever the context requires that the excellence of the power of Allah be made prominent, the heavens have been mentioned first and then the earth. And where the context requires that the people be made appreciate and acknowledge the blessing that they are benefiting by on the earth. The mention of the earth has been made before that of the heavens.
Okay. Very good. Just a few words.
Okay. So the first one is object.
Object,
Yeah. So I guess here object has a lot of meanings, but here I think it means like the purpose. the goal.
Aim.
All right. Yeah, an aim. Yeah, that's good too.
What about the meaning you said?
Aim.
Uh,
AIM.
Aim.
yeah, aim, like a goal or like a purpose. Yeah, that's good. All right. So the second one is e.g. You just
And I
say the
think
letter E
Sumer
and the letter
said
G.
that to mean such that. Let me see if somebody else knows that. Does
Okay.
anybody know what EG stands for? Sonia.
So EG stands for that is.
No, that would be IE.
Oh, for example, sorry. EG stands for example.
Yeah, I think that is that correct?
Yeah, I had to look it up just to double check, but it means, for example, it's actually comes from Latin. The Latin I found is exempli gratia. I can put it in the chat, but that means, where is the chat? Oh, there's the chat. That means, for example, and so EG is actually an abbreviation of that.
Exempli gratia. Oh my goodness. And my Latin is terrible.
That's okay. Most people don't take Latin. I mean, nobody speaks it.
So example gratia, EG.
Yeah.
So that EG.
So I guess most English speakers know that means, for example, because you see it very commonly in books and legal documents and so on. But I think most English speakers do not know the Latin that it comes from. It's just something we use so often we don't even think about it.
Yeah, it becomes like, just so used.
Right, like the word English goodbye, it originally came from God be with ye, but like nobody thinks about that.
God be with ye.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that's what I'm using.
And the funny thing is, in Spanish, adios, that means to God, but they just use it for goodbye. So it's interesting how that happened in a lot of languages. But I could go on a tangent, so I'll stop. Okay.
Makes me feel a little better about myself.
Yeah, I like tangents too. They are fun.
By
But
the
there's
way, what's
only
the word
so much
for
time.
God in Spanish?
Dios.
So DEOS?
Yeah, it's DIOS.
So
And
Spanish, God is equal to Dios.
yeah,
In let me ask these guys. In Greek, God is what?
ooh, I don't know.
We know. Sanya.
Sir, I think deity.
Deity is a word for God, but what's the word in Greek for God? Sumer. I think you have asked me that a few times.
Sir, I don't know.
Okay.
Sir, I think theism.
Yeah, theism or theo is the word for God.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or, from we get the word theology, study of religion, atheism.
Okay, sir. Sir, I was thinking that you might be asking that what is the god of Greek? So I said I don't know.
Yeah, Greek. Well, Greek mythology has many gods, but I was asking for the word. So, we have covered these words in these lessons, that theology or atheism, or, Sumer, the word I think you had asked me one day was theocracy or theocracy. All words, you can break them down, like theo, something with God, and then, something else. Okay, so adios is goodbye in Spanish.
Yeah.
But you have Dios in there, which means God.
Yeah.
So we can break it down that way. Anyways, next, Shazia.
Okay, sir. Akhraja minha ma'aha wa mar'aha, and brought out of its water and its pasture. Pasture here does not only imply pasture and fodder for the animals, but all kinds of herbal produce suitable for consumption both by man and by animal. An example of the use of rath, which is generally used in Arabic for the grazing animals, is found in Surah Yusuf, ayat 12, signifying that this word is sometimes used for man also. The brothers of Joseph said to their father, "Send Joseph with us tomorrow that he may freely graze and enjoy sport." Here, the word graze, wrath, for the child has been used in the meaning that he may move about freely in the jungle and pluck and eat fruit. Waljibali arswaha, and firmly fixed in its mountains. Mata allakum wali an'amikum, all these as provisions for you and your cattle. In these verses, arguments have been given for the resurrection and life after death from two aspects. First, that it is not at all difficult to establish these for the power of that God who has made this vast and huge universe with such wonderful balance and this earth with such provisions. Second, that the pointers to the perfect wisdom of Allah, which are clearly visible in the universe and the earth, point out that nothing is happening here purposelessly. The balance that exists between countless stars and planets and galaxies in the heavens testifies that all this has not happened haphazardly, but there is a well thought out plan working behind it.
Okay. Oh, very good. So just a few words. So the first one is, I think, just done UK versus US. How would you say that, Jessica?
Oh yeah, the first thing I see is vast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just
UK
vast.
vast, right? The British would say vast,
Oh, okay, interesting.
and that's what Shazia did too. She said vast.
Ah.
So when it's like class versus class,
Mm.
France versus France.
Sounds nicer when the British say it.
Yeah, well, it's yeah. So, anyways, so that's just the A thing. So
Yeah.
that's what put it squiggly.
Right.
All right, and the next one is
The next word is galaxies.
Galaxies,
Yeah, good. So, do you guys know what a galaxy is? If not, I can say galaxy is a collection of stars.
like sometimes we point in the star in the sky. Where is the spoon, for example?
Like,
What is it?
do you guys know? Well, in English, we say that the galaxy we're currently in is the Milky Way galaxy.
Oh yeah. Actually, I misspoke. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you're thinking of constellations.
Yeah. So what's the word for those collection of stars?
Constellation.
Or constellation. Yeah.
Yeah. A galaxy can be a group of stars. It's just the group that you're in. Like we're in the Milky Way, and then next to us is the Andromeda galaxy, and so on and so forth.
Hold on. Next to us is what?
I think it's the Andromeda galaxy.
Please put it in the chat.
Okay.
There's no way I would. Yeah. So our galaxy is Milky Way. Yeah. So we have a solar system.
Yeah.
And then Andromeda. So we are. So ours. I'm gonna just put. Let me see. So we are in a solar system, which is in Milky Way. Actually, we are on the Earth.
Yeah.
Earth is in our solar system. Solar system is in the Milky Way, and right next to is us is Andromeda. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Earth is in solar system. Solar system is in Milky Way, and right next to us is another galaxy called Andromeda.
Mm.
And the next word is
The next word is haphazardly.
Shazia. Repeat.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. I
Oh,
didn't hear you. Please,
okay, I'll
can
say
you
it again.
repeat?
Yeah, haphazardly.
Ma'am, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, Bilal, can you hear me?
Yes, haphazardly.
Yeah, like the way he said it.
Haphazardly. Okay,
Yeah,
haphazardly.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
yeah. So I think, I mean, one meaning of it is that it's random.
Randomly.
It's like crazy random, but basically it's random.
Okay, very good.
Kind of like a all over the place sort of crazy way to do stuff.
Okay, next, Umar. I'm going to give you one more chance.
Yes, sir. The regular alternation of the night and day is an evidence that this system has been established with supreme wisdom and knowledge for making the earth a home and place of settlement. On this very earth are found regions where the alternation of the night and day take place within 24 hour takes place within 24 hours, and also those regions where there are longer days and longer nights. A very large part of the Earth's population lies in lives lives in the first kind of the regions. Then, as the days and nights go on becoming longer and longer, life goes on becoming harder and harder, and population thinner and thinner. So much so that the regions where there are 6 month long days and 6 month long nights are not all are not uh, at all fit for human settlement.
Very good. Okay, few words. Oh, just one word.
Yeah, just only one word. Okay, so that word is evidence.
Evidence.
Yeah. So
And
evidence is proof.
and you said evidence. So this is
Right.
yeah, the word sounds evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Shasit.
Okay, sir. Arranging both these types of the land on this very earth, Allah has provided the evidence that this regular order of the alternation of night and day has not come about accidentally, but has been brought about with great wisdom, precisely in accordance with a scheme to make the earth a place fit for human settlement. Likewise, spreading out the earth so that it becomes a fit place to live in, providing in it that water which should be palatable for man and animal and a cause of growth for vegetation, setting in it mountains and creating all those things which may become a means of life for both man and animal. All these are a manifest sign that they are not chance happenings of happenings of the purposeless works of a carefree person, but each one of these has been arranged purposefully by a supreme wise being. Now every sensible and intelligent man can consider for himself whether the necessity and occurrence of the hereafter is the requirement of wisdom or its negation. The person who is spit of seeing all this says that there is no hereafter, in fact says that everything in the universe is happening wisely and purposefully, but only the creation of man on the earth as a being endowed with sense and power is meaningless and foolish. For there could be nothing more purposeless than than delegating delegating to man vast powers of appropriation in the earth and providing him an opportunity to do good as well as evil deeds, but then failing to ever subject him to accountability.
Okay. Words.
Okay, the first one is palatable.
Palatable,
Yeah, palatable. It means like
palatable,
yeah, it means like agreeable or acceptable. These are palatable conditions to live in.
Yeah. So
Um,
is it the top of your mouth that's called palate?
I don't know where. I think in your mouth it's referred to as your palate, as your ability to taste things. That's what I know of with
Yeah. So
palate.
I'm wondering if this is where the word is coming from, the top of the, because something that's palatable is something that you like to eat.
Right, right. That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way.
So palate.
Yeah, I think palate is the top of the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, top like that. The hard region above the tongue.
Mm.
So if you like something on your palate, that means you like it. Okay, next.
Yeah.
Next, I think I put an arrow because he missed a period there and did not stop.
Okay, so that's a period, and then the next word is in spite of. Oh, let's just say spite.
spite,
Yeah. So when you have in spite of those three words together, it basically means like regardless or regardless of or despite.
If the three of them are together, who in spite of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's just spite, then it's like anger.
Okay, next.
Delegating.
delegating,
Yeah, so it's like appointing or designating.
Designate, appoint.
Yeah.
Sometimes we delegate responsibilities. or delegate tasks to somebody else. So
Yeah.
okay, and then the same mistake that somebody else made up earlier.
So vast.
Vast.
Yeah, so vast can mean like big or wide. Like if you go to the Grand Canyon in America, you look at it and it's vast, it's so wide. Or if you're looking into space, outer space, some people might say the vast expanse of space because it's just so big or so wide.
Galaxy so wide, so vast.
Yeah, galaxies are very vast.
I know about Milky Way. Now I know about Andromeda.
Yeah.
How do you say that word?
Andromeda.
Andromeda.
Yeah.
Andromeda, the galaxy next to us. Okay. Next, Sania. Sania.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. But when the فإذا جاءت الطامات الكبرى, but when the great calamity will come out. This implies the resurrection will come about. This implies the resurrection for which the word at-tamamat al-kubra have been used. Tamama by itself is a grievous calamity which afflicts everybody. Then it has been further qualified by the word kubra, great, which shows that the mere word tamama is not enough to describe fully its intensity and severity. Yawma yatazakkarul insanu ma sa'a, on the day when man will recall all his strivings. That is when man will see that the same day of accountability of which he was being foretold in the world has come. He will start remembering each one of his misdeeds done in the world even before his records are handed over to him. Some people experience this even in the world. If at some time they come across a dangerous situation, suddenly when death seems to be staring them in the face, their whole life film flashes across their mind's eye all at once.
Okay, yeah. So only one word. I think you got
Yeah.
confused.
So I guess the funny thing is, I think she said it correctly the first time and then said it incorrectly the second time. But it's records.
Okay, ma'am. Records.
Yeah, and I know this is tricky because it's it has different meanings and the sound changes depending on the different meaning. But a record is like maybe like a written document or a documentation about something, a record. Where record is the verb, and to record means to either like take an account or maybe if you have like a record, if someone's like, you're recording a noise, you're using like a cassette tape to record them. But it's like you're just taking down something or taking account of something. That's the verb.
So here it's noun, which is records.
So the noun is like the accounts, the records. And I actually have to go now because it's 8:50.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Do you usually leave at 8:50 or 8:55?
Yeah. Usually it's around 8:50 or around that time-ish.
Okay, no, that's fine. Because last time I think it was 8:55, and I thought we have to make sure you leave by 8:50. If you gotta leave by 8:50, that's fine. I just gotta. I think last week I might have confused it and thought about 55 and not 50. So sorry about that.
It's all good. No worries. All right. Well, it's good seeing you all. All right. Have a good.
Thank you,
I guess you
ma'am.
already went to dinner.
Thank you, ma'am.
But
Allah.
yeah, Juan Mubarak. Salam
Thank you, ma'am.
alaikum.
Mubarak, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Tanya, continue.
Yes, sir. وَبُرِزَتِ الْجَحِيمُ جَحِيمُ لِمَنْ يَرَى, and hell will be brought in sight for anyone to see.
Oh, I cannot hear you anymore. Okay, we'll stop here for Muzammil.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فأما من طغى, then he who transgressed وآثر الحياة الدنيا, and preferred the life of this world, فإن الجحيم هي المأوى, most surely his abode shall be hell. وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى, but he who feared to stand before his Lord and restrained himself from evil desires, فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى, most surely his abode shall be paradise. Here, in a few words, it has been told briefly what shall be the criterion of the final judgment in the hereafter. One kind of the conduct of life in the world is that transgressing all bounds of service, man should rebel against his God and should make up his mind that he would seek only the benefits and pleasures of this world in whatever way they could be sought and achieved. The other kind of conduct is that while man passes life in the world, he should constantly keep in view the truth that ultimately one day he has to stand before his Lord, and should refrain from fulfilling the evil desires of the self only for the fear that if he earned an unlawful benefit in obedience to his self, or enjoyed an evil pleasure, what answer he would give to his Lord. The criterion of the judgment in the hereafter will will be which of the two kinds of conduct he adopted in the world. If he had adopted the first kind of conduct, his permanent abode, abode would be hell, and if he had adopted the second kind of conduct, his permanent home would be paradise.
Okay. Here. So the first word, transgressed or transgressed. Again, same issue as class versus class. You could read that as transgressed in UK or transgressed in the US. Next word, that's a mistake, is ABODE, abode.
Abode.
permanent. Okay. All right. Next one is, again, repeat.
About.
Abode.
About.
Okay. Okay. And then next one is a word that we use pretty commonly. Answer.
Answer.
And I think you said answer. Maybe that's the British spellings, British pronunciation. I don't know. So I know in the US we say answer. And there was a period. You should always stop at the period. Okay. 7:56. Did everybody have a chance to read so far, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next.
Sir, I didn't read for the second line.
Okay. Go ahead, Sonia.
Okay, sir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yas'alunaka anis-saati ayyana mursaha. They ask you about the hour. When will it be? The disbelievers of Makkah asked this question of the Prophet, peace be upon him, over and over again. By this they did not mean to know the time and date of the coming of resurrection, but it mocked it. Fima anta min zikraha. What concern do you have to speak about that? Ila rabbika muntahaha. Its knowledge rests with your Lord. Innama anta munziru man yakhshaha. You are only a warmer to him who who has a fear of it. This we also have explained in Endnotes 36 of Surah Al-Mulk. As of for the words, you are only a warner to him who fears it. They do not mean that it is not your duty to warn those who do not fear, but it means your warning will benefit only him who fears the coming of that day.
Okay. And the last one, Khadija, you want to do the last?
Yes, sir. كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبسوا إلا عشية أو زوهها. On the day they see it, they will feel as tough they had stayed in the grave no more than one evening or one morning. This theme has occurred at several places in the Quran and and been explained in the following notes.
Okay. Very good. So we'll stop here. Yeah. So I cross out some of the notes because, if you guys want to go and read these notes, you can always click on your computer and read these notes. And let's say if I want to read, if I just click on it, it will open up the note. So if any of you guys is interested, just click on it and it will take you there. Okay. One word here. What's I underlined a word, Shazia. How would you read this?
Sir, do.
Do. Okay. So Khadija,
Do.
repeat after her.
Yes, sir. Do.
Okay. But. Tough. What is that? Khadija.
Sir, it is tough.
Tough, right? It is a confusing word. So Althouugh. Khadija.
Sir, it is although.
R R-O-U-G-H.
Sir, it is rough.
Rough. Yeah, very good. So you just have to be a little careful. Okay, so let's scroll to the top. Okay, so we finished 24 through 46 today. And that finishes our Surah 79. Next week, we will start Surah 78. And that will be, I think, the last Surah of the 30th Spara, or 30th Juz. Okay, I will stop the recording here, and Juma Mubarak. Thank you.